Spiritual life is an ideological flow, a movement from crudity to subtlety. In this movement, there are highs and lows. It is not like climbing a staircase. It is a movement of mind where mind grows in magnitude. The ability to perceive that which is non-corporal, which is subtle, grows, and the knowledge slowly comes that there is something more, something numinous, something vast, that there is a wholeness of being, and that you are part of this interwoven, interconnected web of life. Knowledge comes for most slowly. There are those who, due to the workings of past incarnations, this knowledge arrives quickly. Suddenly, it may come into the mind. But for those who have not such experience of the past, from the past, the knowledge comes slowly. And it comes in waves. So that there are times when you may feel the very high feelings of divine presence. You feel that there is a vast divinity that is all around, and that you are part of that. And then even great moments of bliss where the feelings come strongly and there is a sense of unity, there is samadhi comes. But then mind gets engaged with daily life. Mind gets engaged with doing all manner of activity, and the consciousness crudifies. Consciousness becomes engaged in material life, in day-to-day activities, and there is an immersion of awareness into the body, into the senses, and into the achievement of daily goals and activities. But then again, circumstances come either through one's own internal meditation or through participating in sanghas like this or retreats. And again, the mind grows in magnitude. There begins to be an awareness that remains, that is blissful, and a feeling of the vastness of being, a feeling of your union with the divine, a feeling of the presence of the divine beloved. And again, mind becomes engaged in daily activities, and perhaps this feeling is lost. So in this way, it goes up and down from day to day, and from month to month, and from year to year. There may be years that are very dry, years that are very rich. It is not like climbing a ladder. The other thing is that realization is not simply a matter of emotion. High experiences, samadhis come, and you feel that presence, and the awareness is such that you are growing, you are developing. But then this veil comes over as your awareness slides back into the body and into the senses and into the desires of the individual consciousness, individual mind, body. So experience changes and changes and changes. But what becomes more steady over time is knowledge of the infinite. The understanding in the mind, the way of looking at life changes. There becomes a steady awareness, a steady understanding that you are not this body and this mind alone, that there is a vast beingness that is embodied in what you consider you and in all else that is, and you are connected. This knowledge remains in the mind, even when the experiential, emotional experience changes. Your experiential awareness goes up and down, but your knowledge grows steadily. Your understanding grows steadily. Your deep experience grows steadily. If you have driven a car, you may not be enjoying the feeling of the freedom of driving in an open space, but you know that that's there. You know that because you know how to drive a car, and you know that you know how to drive a car. The same way, when you know through your own experience that infinite sense of being, when you know you're beloved of your heart, when you know that divine presence, then it's there, it's always there, and you know it's there. So even when the mind wanders into body-mind experience and sensory daily engagements, the mind still knows it's there. You do not lose that knowledge. That knowledge is the foundation of awakening, the foundation of self-realization. For to realize the self is not simply to have a unitary experience. That unitary experience is a foundation of direct knowledge. And that foundational direct knowledge gives you the understanding, the deep understanding that you need. It comes from that direct experience. You've experienced it. You know it to be true through your own experience. Even when your conscious attention awareness is not in that experience, you know it to be true. You remember it to be true. It begins to form your understanding of yourself and the universe and how you relate in that relationship. So the foundation of realization comes not only in the experiences of subtle being, of samadhi, it also comes in the accumulated knowledge that this experiences of non-dual being bring into you. Direct knowledge, not a teaching that somebody has told you, not a belief system that you have, but a direct knowledge. You know the sun rises in the morning and sets at night. You know this. Why? Because you have witnessed it multiple times. So if someone asks you, does the sun rise in the morning? You say yes. And it sets in the evening because you know it by your own experience. Likewise, through your own direct experience, you come to know the nature of infinite being. You come to know that that divine guru, that beloved of your heart, your Baba, your Ma, your one, is that one is in everything. You know through science that everything is composed of waves. The waves become particles. The particles and the space become all of the objects and life forms around you, and your own body. So you know that these things exist as part of a vast wholeness. Even science can tell you this. But in your direct experience, through your yoga, through your unity of the little and the great, in your direct meditation, your own direct experience comes to bring this realization to you. And from this realization is built an understanding, not an understanding in books, but an understanding from direct experience. And that forms a knowledge base. Something you can fall back into. And as mind grows in magnitude, and this awareness of the unitary whole of being grows in you, it is easier and easier to access. And when you take remembrance that all is the form of the one, all is the infinite one, that your body, your mind, that which you call you, is really composed of that one. And all living beings are of that one. All life is of that one. All that is manifest is composed of Purusha, is composed of the one infinite consciousness. That knowledge of that one infinite consciousness, that one infinite essence, becomes solid in you. And so more easily accessed when your attention, your awareness is applied to your daily life to take care of daily needs, interactions, and work. That awareness of the unitary whole may fall into the back, not in the forefront of your attention and your awareness. But over time, it remains there in you. You know it. And when the mind turns away from its externalization, when your attention is withdrawn from that to the one, to the whole, to the divine, it is there for you. Knowledge of that existence is there for you. Direct experience follows knowledge. You hear kirtan, you hear the name of God being chanted, you see a beautiful setting in nature, you have some moving experience, and the emotions are moved, and they move towards the one. You are deep in meditation, and the day-to-day activities fall away, and the mind moves towards the one. Mind grows in magnitude, and thus direct experience occurs. And from that direct experience becomes a steady knowledge that is there no matter where the attention moves, and it does move. Otherwise, you could not live in this world, in this body. It moves. But that knowledge becomes more and more steady, more and more emotionally accessible when you do turn the attention towards the one. Are there any questions? Now is the time to ask your questions regarding sadhana. Yes.
We go up and down.
Is that
No, we find ourselves going down and down. What can we do over preoccupation with material?
It's a very good question. Brahma sadhana. But if your mind is occupied by the material world, it is possible that your sadhana will be occupied by the material world also. In your mind, continually going over this and then going over that, and you come out of your meditation exhausted from thinking of all of these things rather than from meditating. In which case, a little more meditation. Something that is emotionally inspiring, whether it be retreat and time for silent personal retreat is also good, for meditation and personal time. Taking personal retreat, whether it is in your home or perhaps you can go someplace and be on retreat for a few days, just meditating, feeling your connection with life, feeling your connection with Guru, writing, feeling divine presence all around you. If your mind becomes crudified by material and worldly engagements, taking time for retreat, personal retreat, not to attend another seminar and talk to a lot of people, but to go on silent retreat of meditation, silence, possibly fasting if it is comfortable for you. If not, then eating sattvic and very gentle foods. And with every bite you take, thinking, this is the gift of the divine to this body. This is the embodiment of the divine entering this body. This body is the temple of the divine. This mind is the house of the divine. All is part of that whole. And bring this ideation. You can do during your daily life also, taking time to remember this. Just time when your mind returns to this understanding. And you are not separate from the whole of being. Taking time for this remembrance in your day-to-day life is helpful. There needs to be something to inspire the remembrance. Sometimes kirtana, sometimes walking silently in nature, sometimes eating food or any activity, but in this remembrance, this is the embodiment of the divine. This body is the embodiment of the divine. This mind is the embodiment. All belongs to that one. All is that one. Taking this remembrance. Not quickly as you grab in between this and that to say some mantra quickly. That's fine, but not enough. Really ideate. Really take the time to remember. To let yourself be filled with the infinite. And if it doesn't come automatically to you, then listen to some spiritual talk to inspire this ideation. Hear some kirtana. And if you are struggling, take 2 or 3 days for personal retreat. And in the retreat, listen to kirtana. Take this ideation. Let the infinite abide in your body, in your mind, in all that is around you. See, awaken to the vitality of life. It takes putting the time in. You put so much time into your work, into your social activities, into your relationships, and this is good, for all of that is the form of the infinite. But when you forget that it is the form of the infinite, then you need a little time and a little inspiration to remember this. So hearing the spiritual talks, listening to the kirtana, taking the time to do your second lesson, do the remembrance of the Divine One in all things, really remembering and taking time to focus on this. Writing about it writing your personal story and your relationship to the divine. Things that bring that remembrance in your heart. Yes? All right. Is that helpful?
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Is there more? Any other questions? This is an important topic. Take the time. Be serious in this pursuit. This is the life of your life. This is the heart of your being. Don't let it slide by till you are too old to remember it. Now is the time to remember, to do something to inspire your heart. You are divine love in your nature. That's who you are. And you are not the little person you have assumed yourself to be. You are not the pains and the sorrows and the limitations of your small self. You are that divinity embodied in that manifestation. Come to know your deeper nature. Do that which inspires your heart. And you will find your way. But it takes a little time, and if it's not happening, take your personal retreat. To have the time. It is good to go on the seminars and all those also, but that is sometimes your mind is busy in the socialness of the spiritual seminar, not in the continual ideation that you are in the divine. If you go to the spiritual seminar, keep that ideation flowing. Sink yourself into that. Every person that you meet and you feel connected to, you are connecting to the divine one in the form of that person. Love is the currency of the divine. All right?